Time is 6:35 on December 15th. I'll go ahead and call the regular meeting of the mayor and council to order. Roll call, as I said, 3 council people are here, with the exception of Councilmember Shelton, who's on his way. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by an invocation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilmember Aiken, will you lead us in a prayer, please?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all of our blessings. We thank you for the way you take care of us and guide and protect us. And Father, tonight we just ask you to bless this council meeting. I ask you to help us make the right decisions that affect our community and those that are present tonight. We ask you to bless our police department and our fire department as they're out facing the public and keeping us safe. We ask you to look after them and keep them safe, Father. Help us all make the right decisions, guide and guard and direct us, and forgive us where we come up short. We ask all this in his holy name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, I do have a few announcements. We have a planning commission meeting on December the 22nd at 6 p.m. That'll be at the Social Circle Theater. Tree board meeting scheduled for December 24th has been canceled. We have a council retreat with the school board. That's January 8th at 6 p.m. at the high school, and January 9th starting at 8 a.m. also at the high school. Council work session and organizational meeting on January the 11th, 6:30 p.m. here in the community room. Main Street Commission meeting is January the 12th, 2021 at the church at the Grove at 8 a.m. The Georgia Initiative for Community Housing meeting is January 12th also at 10 a.m. and that's via Zoom. Historic Preservation meeting January 12th, 6 p.m. here in the community room. And our next council meeting, January the 19th at 6:30 p.m. will be at the Social Circle Theater. We have some presentations. First item up is the 2020 Employee of the Year recognition.
Thank you. I would like to talk just a little bit about this. Each year, the city recognizes an employee who has exhibited our core values of honesty, integrity, focus on customer service, teamwork, and excellence. Employees are nominated for this honor by the department heads in the fall, and then the employee who receives the most votes from the department heads is selected as the Employee of the Year. This year, I'd like to recognize Rob Lee with our Public Works Department. And if I could ask Rob to step forward into the light. Rob was nominated by several department heads in the first round, which is, it is intended and typical that the Employee of the Year would be supported by more than just their department, but he was the overwhelming nominee this year. He came to us in 2016 as a member of the Public Works Department, initially with wastewater, with skills in utility work and mechanical operations. He's moved around from wastewater to water, then to gas. He obtained his certifications there, and then back to water. He is flexible, helpful, always respectful, excellent with citizens and coworkers. He's got a lot of skills and is willing and quick to learn new skills. He's exhibited and continues to exhibit a lot of leadership within the Public Works Department and the organization, and we are pleased to honor Rob as our Employee of the Year.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you for all you do. All right, I believe next item we have employee introduction and recognition.
I believe Chief Brinkley has some new members of our police department to introduce. Try not to blind you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'd like to introduce to you two new officers that was added to the police department as of yesterday. To my left, I have Officer Robert Walker. He has about 10 years of experience in Walton County. And to my right, I have Deidre Burry. She came to us as a sergeant here at the police department. She was heading up out of the criminal investigation division. So, just want to go and say.
I just want to say it's an honor and a privilege to work here at Social Circle Police Department, and I can't wait to start serving the citizens here at Social Circle.
What he said. I'm really excited to go to work for the city. I'm gonna do you guys a good job, and I really appreciate it. And also thank you to Chief Brinkley. Really appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Ms. Burry comes up with 22 years of experience, so we're excited to test her skills here at Social Circle.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Welcome to Social Circle.
I'm
Next
sorry.
item on the agenda, we have Ms. Dee Dee Harris from Walton Wellness.
Excuse me, do you want me to stand over here?
Well, if you can you come like here
Right here?
so the council can see you, the camera can see you, and then we can.
Everybody, okay. So my name is Dee Dee Harris. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the Executive Director of Walton Wellness, Inc. We're a nonprofit in Walton County. We're dedicated to the prevention of lifestyle-related chronic illness. And I'm here as my annual visit to the council to talk about the wonderful partnership that we have between Walton Wellness and the City of Social Circle. As you probably know, that big bus that is sitting right out here, that is the partnership between Walton Wellness and the City of Social Circle. It has been since 2018, I think, is when we first entered into this partnership, which was an awesome opportunity for the community as a whole. Y'all were willing to step forward and be a partner in co-owning this bus so that we are able to use it as a mobile market. It has lots of functions, and I know that you've probably seen it at several of the city festivals. It's usually blocking traffic at Highway 11 for y'all to be able to enjoy the downtown street free of traffic. But one of its main functions is it is a farmer's market for financially burdened in our community. And during years that we don't have a global pandemic, we actually do, we have a market season that starts in May and it runs through the end of July, is what we call our regular market season. And we have 3 markets every week. One in Social Circle, and our partner in Social Circle is the Methodist Church. We have one in Loganville and one in Monroe. And to just give you a couple of statistics, which I know I sent just a small report to Adele. I think she's going to share that with y'all. That just kind of gives you the overview of the year for our market this year. But a few statistics for you is we served around, I think, 96 households, but basically equaled out to around 200 Walton County citizens. 16% of that was Social Circle. What we had to do this year was we only had 1 market per week, and we had it at the sheriff's office, which is where our garden is that supports the market. And we had it in the parking lot of the sheriff's office. So unfortunately this year, Social Circle people had to travel, as well as Loganville people had to travel to the market. But we still were able to serve a large portion of our community, and this was an awesome year for that because many of our members are seniors. So our average age is 63 for our market. So not only were they able to have fresh produce, but we were a life link to many of them this summer because they were already very fearful of getting out and going to the store. And through our market, every week we were able to provide them with at least 1 dozen eggs, along with all locally grown fresh produce. And our partnership with Athens Tech, we were able to provide them homemade bread every week too. So that was very exciting. Because it's much better to see it than hear me talk about it, I have shared a video, just a recap. It's very brief about the market this year. I'm gonna see if it's gonna work.
Certainly. Oops, I haven't tried it again.
There. Can you X out of that upload whatever?
Which one?
That bottom part, right there. Can you X out?
Yeah.
And that's okay.
I don't know if that helped us too much. All right, here we go. So,
And it'll be quiet because it's coming from her speaker.
Marketing goes really well. I love my produce week to week.
So these are voices of our actual market members that are talking about the market.
When you get a bill, let me take down. Some low income, and it helps me with my groceries. The vegetables, I love vegetables. It helps me in a lot of ways financially, plus good health food, and I still cook for myself.
So we had a drive-by market this year so that we were able to be COVID responsible.
It has made me cook greens every week, and I wasn't cooking greens. So whatever I get down here,
At our market, we also have food demos that we're able to do, and we give out recipes too, so that everybody knows how to cook
oh, I'm in
whatever they
Lebanon
get.
Market. I respect you.
So I know you weren't really able to hear the volume very well, but Adele does have a link, so any of you council members or anyone who's interested in getting that, she can send you the link to be able to watch it. The other video that I just wanted to share with you was part of, we also initiated a suicide prevention campaign working with all of Walton County high schools this summer, including Social Circle. And so I just wanted to share with you, this was our video that's being shown in all of the schools, and we are in partnership with the Student Success Alliance in doing it. It's called Go Off Script. So the Go Off Script campaign in the schools provides every student in the school with the text, the National Suicide Prevention Helpline through text. They get fun stickers and that kind of thing that they like to put on their laptops or their water bottles or anything like that. Our main goal for this campaign is to put a little bit of normalization in talking about depression and talking about mental health so that kids may be more apt and comfortable to be open about what they might be going through and speak up, obviously, and talk to someone about it before it actually leads to a suicide attempt. So that is something that just sparked during, of course, once again, COVID. So This partnership has been, I think, very successful, and also it is such a huge value to our community as a whole. I certainly hope that you as a city council will want to continue this partnership. If you have any questions or want more information or anything, please let me know. Adele has all of my information, so please contact me with if any additional questions or anything. Otherwise, thank you so much for letting me come and talk to you, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Harris, and yes, hopefully in 2021 we can get you back in social circle, and we do enjoy our partnership with Walton Wellness. Thank you for the presentation tonight.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the downtown rundown.
Yeah, Amber is not able to be here this evening, so this will be brief. We did have our tree lighting at Friendship Park, and this is a great picture of it. It was a lovely event. People were nicely spaced out. This is the choir you can see from the background. Our Christmas in the Circle was postponed due to bad weather on the 4th, and it will happen this Friday, December 18th. So from, I believe, 6 to 8. Am I right, Bob? Yeah, 6 to 8. So we will have Santa Claus, we will have the Grinch, we will have the Christmas train, and we will have the our community groups doing crafts and things like that at tables. So we hope that you all can join us.
Thank you, Adele. Citizens' requests up next. We have a peddler ordinance amendment request for food trucks by Mr. Miller, John Miller.
Hello all. First of all, I want to say thank you. Ironically, it's a year, this meeting, since I stood here last, when we were talking about moving the dollhouse and requesting a variance to do so. I'm happy to report that the dollhouse is finished. We've actually finished. I know a few of you have come by to see it, and we really appreciate that. So here we are again a year later with another request. So hopefully you won't get tired of us being here, because we obviously really want to do things that are going to benefit and help the city. Some of you may know when we purchased our warehouse, we also included the 2 pieces of property across from Ace Hardware. I wasn't able to get it into your packets, but I did bring stuff here if you guys, that I can leave with you or give you, and you can look at it. These are the 2 pieces of property that cross street from Ace. One which has a house on it that a tree had fallen in, that's why we call it the tree house, that we've been actively working to renovate at least the exterior of it right now. And that renovation is continuing, but it's going to take a while because we're doing it wholly and completely out of cash. But we would like to try to speed up the process of allowing the property to be an asset to the city instead of just a vacant, renovated property in progress, and also support the effort to renovate the property. So one of the things that we came up with, that we did not come up with it on our own, it was suggested to us almost a year ago, and we were slow to come around to it, but we did eventually, is the idea of food trucks. If you guys are familiar with food trucks at all, Monroe does one about once a quarter, Food Truck Friday, and it's wildly popular. So much so that my wife has been there twice and have yet to actually eat at a food truck because the lines are so long and it's so well attended. So what we would like to do is offer the vacant property next to the house that we're renovating for food trucks to come in on a weekend, a Friday or Saturday evening, in order to create an outdoor event for the city, add some variety, and do it once a month or once a quarter, or whatever we can come up with, that we can let people know what different items are coming at that particular time so that they can plan for it. But in researching this, we realized that there is an impediment, and that is the peddler laws. I don't know that food trucks were really considered or entertained at the time that the peddler ordinance was made, but it's very limiting. If I understand correctly, and you know it better than I do, but it limits it to 1 hour prior to 6 p.m. And that's just not a feasible situation if this is something that the city really wants. And I think that if we were to put it out there to the public, I think there would be a lot of interest in it. So I don't think it's an extremely difficult or extreme amendment that would be necessary to allow us to bring in food trucks on a Friday or Saturday night or a holiday event and bring some activity and also some more interest, because like I said, we traveled to Monroe for the food truck event. I would assume the same thing would happen in reverse, that Monroe and Covington and Rutledge and some of our surrounding areas would come here instead of going there and bring more business to our downtown and even the other restaurants, because like I said, we ended up eating at one of the Monroe restaurants because we couldn't eat at the food trucks, it was so popular. So that's my request. If you need anything more from me, or if you want to pass out the packets, just kind of highlighting the property and kind of what we're envisioning, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. All right, next up, are there any council requests? There are none. Next item is the approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion on that.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Agenda is approved unanimously. Next, we have a series of public hearings, a few of which have been canceled. Pardon me tonight, I'm having a little bit of vision issues. The first one at 350 Spring Street, a rezone, that was canceled. The next one at North Cherokee Road for a rezone was also canceled. Poplar Forest preliminary plan for the homes over on Memorial, that was deferred by Planning and Zoning. I believe they will be hearing that next week. Is that correct, Ms. Shermer?
No, it will actually, the applicant has asked for it to be deferred one more month, so it will be heard in January.
So that'll be heard by Planning and Zoning in January and to the council in February. We do have public hearing for an alcohol pouring renewal application for Willie's Mex Grill. Would you like to present that?
Yes, sir. The city has received application from Miriam Escobar for Willie's Mex Grill at 123A South Cherokee. We received that application on November the 17th of 2020. Their application is complete. They have followed through with the background check and the fingerprints as required. And I had a conversation with the police chief, and he had good things to say about the business and didn't have any reason not to approve.
Okay. Thank you, Susan. This is a public hearing, so I'll open the public hearing, ask if there's anyone here to speak in favor of this application renewal. Seeing none, if there's anyone here opposed to this application. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the council for discussion and action.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Shelton, a second from Councilmember Jackson. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. The next item is the alcohol pouring renewal application for Sacred Grounds Corner Cafe. Ms. Roper.
I have a application from Sacred Grounds Corner Cafe. Give me just a second and put my hand on the application and all this pile of paperwork. It is located on the corner of South Cherokee and West Hightower. It's at 109 South Cherokee. We received this application on November the 4th of 2020. All the paperwork is in order. They've also gone through the background check and fingerprint process, and I had a good report as well from the chief of police on the business.
Thank you, Ms. Roper. Again, this is a public hearing. I'll open the public hearing and ask for those that are in favor. Hearing none, if there's anyone opposed that's here to speak, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, bring it back for discussion and action.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Jackson, a second from Councilmember Shelton. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Next item, we have the financial statements.
Finance Director Jennifer Fricks was unable to be here this evening, so I will run through them. Through November, the general fund revenue is at 41% of budget, which is ahead of where we were this time last year at 27%. Property taxes are coming in nicely. Also, our expenses are right at 41%, and as compared to last year's at this time at 37%. In the water fund, our total revenues are at 28% of the year projected as compared to 26% last year. A large portion of the anticipated revenues is GFA loan that is received as we spend money, it's reimbursed. So so that is anticipated as we go forward. Not considering that revenue, we're at right at 40% of revenue based on usage. So we're right on track with where we should be. Expenses are at 35% of projected for the year, and as compared to 23% the same time last year. And our capital project expense is at 41% of our $2.2 million for the year. In the gas fund, our revenues are at 29% of what we projected for the year. Last year at this time we were at 30%, so we're right in line. Our expenses this year are at 36% thus far, whereas last year at this time we were at 28%, and the difference is most or 2/3 of our capital projects have been completed for the year. So that's why we're a little over where we were last year. But all in all, the gas fund is also in good shape. Solid waste fund, our revenues are at 42% of projected. Last year at this time we were at 41%. Our expenses are at 32%, and last year at this time they were at 33%. So we are on track really in all funds with where we should be at this time of the year. I'll be happy to answer any questions council may have.
Any questions for Ms. Shermer?
I know this is probably a maintenance question for the street department, but we still got a problem with that truck. What we gonna do about that truck? Because that's gonna impact somebody's budget somewhere along the line if they don't replace it.
Yep, let's bring that to the next work session, if that's okay. That'll give Robbie a chance to pull that information together.
Because I'm getting a lot of calls about people in their leaves and limbs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we've been going through this for over a year, and dealerships had that truck more than we've had that truck. And it's costing us a lot of money every time they work on it and they don't fix it.
Most of it, I don't think it's costing us money for them to work on it, but it does cost us money for it to be out of service,
That's
for
it.
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought they had pretty much said they sold us a limit.
They pretty much did. The dealer did. The manufacturer did not come to that conclusion. So, and there had been a stretch there right after the council approved the equipment operations that it actually was running pretty consistently. But, like I said, I'd be happy to bring all of that back to you at your next work session, so give Robbie a chance to pull that together.
Yeah, because at some point, it's gonna be out of warranty, and then we're gonna have,
Probably already out of warranty.
It is out of warranty. It hasn't cost us anything because this started while it was under warranty. But yeah, our fix, big picture, our fix at the time was we were gonna trade it in, be done with it, and get a new truck. But since that point, up until recently, I guess, it had been running consistently. But we'll be happy to bring that for a more in-depth discussion.
Any other questions for Ms. Shermer on the financial statements? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a
I'd like
motion
make
to
a
approve.
motion to approve the
Second.
financial statement as presented.
Motion from Councilmember Price, a second from Councilmember Shelton. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Next up, we have our consent agenda. Ms. Shermer, if you will, just briefly go over those items.
Okay, on the consent agenda, we have minutes approvals for November 17th, the regular council meeting and the executive session, and the December 3rd work session. We have adoption of our language access plan, which is a grant condition for our CDBG grant. We have authorization to amend the Secret Santa checking account to add an additional signature. We're not taking anybody off. And that's adding Amber McKibben to that. Approval to appropriate the CDBG grant funds that we expect to spend this fiscal year of $67,500, and that's design services. Our project schedule would basically get us to bidding the job for construction by the end of the fiscal year. So the balance of the $750,000 in CDBG grant funds would be in your normal budget process for next year. We have approval of alcohol sales license and sidewalk cafe renewals. We have the authorization for the extension of our current water improvements GFA loan to reflect construction completion by the end of March. The original loan documents had construction and payout to be done by the end of this month. And then finally, to authorize the write-off of uncollectible property taxes for the year 2013 in the grand total of $145.26. Large shout out to your clerk for that. I don't even know, that's .000 something percent. So, excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Okay, if you've had time to review the consent agenda, I'll entertain a motion on it.
We'll move.
Second.
Well,
I got one question though. Is the contractor gonna be able to finish by this date?
You should be. We had a meeting with the design and inspection engineer and the contractor 3 or 4 weeks ago, laid out what was left to be done and the time frame to do it, and I think they're on track with that, so we should be.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilmember Aiken, a second from Councilmember Shelton. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Brings us to old business. The first item is no parking on one side for Laurel Lane and Richmond Drive.
This item was deferred from your last meeting. Council asked that we send notice to the property owners in that subdivision before that action. We have done that. There has been some feedback from that notice. Notice went to every property, to the chief of police and the fire chief, and generally the feedback has been, we support it, it's about time that the city did, and maybe the city wants to extend the no parking areas. But what's in front of you is just what was included in the letter.
I will say this about what you just said. Since the letters have went out, most of the on-street parking has stopped.
Yeah.
except for a couple of houses. And it seems like it got worse at those two houses.
Now, this in Laurel Oaks is only for the main Laurel Lane, is that correct?
It's for Richmond Drive and Laurel Lane.
Richmond and Laurel?
Right. Laurel Lane and Richmond Drive
Okay.
on the incoming side of the street, basically on the right side of the street as you go into the subdivision for the first 300 feet. And then no parking in the vicinity of fire hydrants.
And the fire hydrants are all on the opposite side of the street anyway, from where the parking has to be restricted from.
I'll entertain a motion on this item.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Aiken, a second from Councilmember Price to approve the no parking on one side for Laurel Lane and Richmond Drive. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Motion passes unanimously. Next item is the Jubilee moratorium extension.
The moratorium that the council adopted previously for the unbuilt phases of Jubilee expires the end of this month, and so this item would just extend the moratorium.
Is there a date that we're looking at for that?
June
Extension.
30th, 2021.
Thank you. That would be June 30th, 2021. I was flipping my pages. Or the completion of a rezoning action, whichever comes first.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilmember Shelton. I appreciate that.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion on the
So
side.
move.
I have a motion from Councilmember Shelton, a second from Councilmember Aiken for the Jubilee moratorium extension. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. I don't know of any new business. We do have an executive session for litigation, if I can get a motion for executive session.
So move. Second.
Have a motion from Councilmember Price, second from Councilmember Shelton. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are in executive session. Thank you.